Welcome to This is Football. Bienvenidos a This is Football. Another Tuesday, fellas. It's so good to be back with you, Socio, Nico. How were your weekends?
Amazing,
What's up? What's up? What's
amazing.
up?
Finally had the weekend off.
Yeah. I saw, I
Yeah,
saw, I saw Nico had an asado. You
Epa.
had
yeah.
unos choris. Ahí te vi.
Celebration to two great things. Two great
Sí,
things.
papá.
Yeah,
Being
no.
being being cancer free and my mom coming over for her
Hey,
birthday.
There you
For her
go, bro.
birthday.
Happy
So,
birthday to Nico's mom. So, hey, happy birthday shout out.
eh,
So,
eh.
how about you, Socio? You had the weekend off. You do anything fun, man? I know it was Miami Music Week. I know.
yeah, pero no,
You
nada
don't want to get around there. You
relajado.
don't want to. You don't want to go around that
No,
area,
straight
dude.
around off that. Sunday, relax, spent the day outside, and ended it over there, South Point, watching the
Nice,
cruise
bro.
ships, the sunset,
Epa.
tranquilito, some
That's the way
beer.
to do it, bro. That's it,
Yeah,
bro.
you know, bro.
Tranquilo. Yeah, bro. That's the way to do it, man. That's the way
It
to
was
do it.
nice.
But we had a crazy sports weekend in Miami. Some teams, are going to the Final Four in NCAA. Some teams lost some games that they should have won. We're gonna
What a
get into
wild.
that. Yeah, it was a
That
crazy
was
weekend
wild,
overall.
man.
Yeah, crazy weekend. So we got a lot of stuff to get
A
into. The
curveball,
first,
I like that.
but the first thing I want to get into is this craziness that's been going on with Messi and the saga. At first he was coming to MLS, then he was going to stay at PSG, and then he resigned, then he didn't resign, and now the reports are coming out that all of a sudden Fabricio Romalo,
Epa.
seems to be getting it right once again.
Yeah,
You know, uh,
claro,
the
bro.
reports are coming out that
Yeah,
he's going back to possibly going to sign with Barcelona for 1 year.
Yeah.
So
clown,
the
clown
interesting aspect that I wanted to get in here was not him going back to Barcelona, but the report that came out
move.
where if he were to come to the MLS, how that would affect all the other teams in the MLS. And it was really interesting when I was reading this article. I don't know if you guys caught it, but the most important part here was apparently if Messi comes, the only way that we're able to afford to get him to come over here is if all the teams pay a portion of his salary, right? All the teams pay a portion of his salary, and then he gets to go to. I guess the pre-agreement is with Inter Miami. So every team is going to pay a portion of his salary, but he gets to play for Inter Miami. But, Nico, you being a West Coast guy and representing LAFC or maybe the Galaxy, Seattle sometimes. Who knows? How would you feel if you were the owner of one of these Western Conference franchises and Messi is playing against you week in and week out? You know, and you're paying for this guy to pay, to play against you.
I honestly I can't put myself in a position of the owners because I don't. I honestly think that the owners might be for this, and here's why. Uh, Revenue wise, I think it's a great idea for them because they're gonna be able to, you know, be branded as a great league. You know, you're having the best player, possibly the best player ever in your league. It's kind of good, you know, as far as an owner. Now, if you ask me as a fan point of view, I would hate it. Honestly, I would hate it. You know, let's say you're a LAFC fan or an SKC fan or even a St. Louis fan.
Put all three in order.
Why on earth would I even want Messi to play for Inter Miami and my team be part of paying his contract? It just makes no sense.
Okay, yeah, but that's where you're seeing it as if this was the Prem, La Liga, and these individual teams had a say.
No,
Doesn't
correct.
matter
I
what they
understand.
say.
I understand. I understand that teams have no say in the MLS
Okay,
because it's an American type of industry. You know.
yeah.
Right.
Pero from the business standpoint of the MLS, I see it the way I saw it because I saw Brando's tweets. It made very good points, but the business aspect of it is there's no way they're gonna make them pay this X amount of money each team with nothing in return. With no IRA. No way. There's no way. Especially with that Apple deal.
Correct.
There has to
Correct.
be something where they're gonna benefit from it. There's no way, hey, yeah, you each gotta pay 10 mil and yeah, thanks. You're gonna watch him just bang it into no. You're gonna pay this, you're gonna watch him bang it in, but they're gonna receive something. They have to.
Yeah,
They have
yeah, and it goes back to that. It goes back to, there's going to be a lot of different companies that are going to try to invest in the MLS just because of the fact that Messi is going to be in the league. However, as a fan point of view, imagine you being in the same conference that Messi's playing, and let's say last week of the season, your team is Nashville, and Miami is fighting against Nashville for the last spot, and they're playing against each other. How would you feel that Messi eliminates you and you have to pay his salary?
Because for
I'm
sure,
the
they're
first one
calling a
asking for
penalty,
his
right?
jersey.
Oh, hold on. They're going to call penalty in that game.
Hey, and you know where he's coming from. That's why it's a lot of envy out there. But yeah, man.
I mean, look, I'll give you my take on this. Socio, I think you're right. Obviously, I don't think anybody would say yes to the Apple deal, as a collective group, or whatever, without some sort of, knowing if there's a return, if this would happen. We already know that this has already happened one time because, this happened when Beckham came over to the league. They had a special rule for Beckham.
Yeah, but it was a bit different. It was a bit different with Beckham.
It was.
Because obviously the magnitude that Messi has is incomparable. You can't compare that to any other player in the world. When Beckham came, they gave him the rights to actually say, okay, you can pay $25 million and then you can build your own franchise, whatever you want to build it, right?
Right.
In this case, it's different because Messi, it's going to be actually given a franchise immediately.
Right, or given the rights to a franchise,
correct.
which that would most likely be, I guess, Inter Miami if he's going to be playing for Inter Miami. So he's going to be basically playing on the team that he owns, which seems a little weird, but I don't know. I know that in the NBA, you're not allowed if you're when Michael Jordan was part owner of the Washington Wizards, they made him relinquish his ownership so that then he could play. So maybe they do something like that with Messi. So he plays, and then when he retires, then he becomes the owner. But I don't know, man. It's kind of it's a weird deal if you're a fan. But I 100% understand the business side of it, and I think it's a plus. Knock it out of the park for the MLS to get Messi over here. So
yeah, and I want to remind you guys something that I said a couple of weeks ago. This isn't just Messi coming to the MLS as a player and bringing the MLS to the view of worldwide fans. Messi's also going to be the ambassador for the World Cup in 2026.
Yeah,
and he's also going to be the ambassador for the next Copa America that's going to be played in here. So we got to take that into consideration as well. It's going to be a big thing, and everyone's trying to work united, not just the MLS, but also CONCACAF, CONMEBOL, and FIFA to actually make this of a humongous magnitude.
Right. Regalar otra copa, you feel me?
Right.
Hey, who knows? Back to back. Who was the last team? Who was the last team to win a back-to-back World Cup? You never know.
Ooh, you stumped me.
No, I don't think any team has won there.
I think Italy. I think either Brazil or Italy.
Yeah.
Brazil or Italy would be
one
the
of them
only team.
We'll have to do
Actually, hold on.
guys.
Uruguay won back to back.
Por Dios.
1928, 1930.
Sí, Jesús de Nazaret was in the stands.
Well, it happens, bro. It happens. All right. So
going to that topic, Danny.
Yeah.
That we're actually talking about Messi. Correct. One of the guys says correct. Shout out to all the fans. We want to see them comment.
Sí,
We want to see people comment, and not only comment. Like if they have any questions or they want to participate on the show, just put it out there, and we'll answer your questions, or we'll get into the debate with you guys.
Yeah, and one day, Socio will learn how to turn on mute, off mute, on mute. So
you feel me?
One day he'll learn.
There's a little bit of improvement. At least he paid the bill for he paid the electricity bill.
Well, we don't know yet, bro. We still have like 45 minutes left on the show, so we don't know yet. Anything can happen.
Jinx me, bro.
But going to what you were saying, Danny, about Messi, and this Messi saga. At the end of the day, we could talk, we could speculate, but like I said before, I gave a percentage when we first started the show about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and you guys asked me what's a percentage of Messi, the Messi's chances to coming to the MLS, and I said 50%. And the reason why I said 50% is because the other 50, I felt like it was either going to be either PSG or Barcelona. And the more reports that are
Soft
coming
move
out,
going back there,
the
bro.
more reports that are coming out of Europe, and especially on the Barcelona side, make me wonder and make me think that Messi might be closer to returning to Barcelona for at least one or
Such
two
a
seasons
soft move. Such a soft move,
over
bro.
coming to the MLS.
You know,
They spit in your face and kick you out, and then you go back crawling. Kick.
I was in
It
in
wasn't his
the
fault.
no, but
It
hey,
was-
neat. So
was
guys, I
not.
was in the press room this weekend in the at the Drive Pink Stadium with our fellow media members in there, and they asked my opinion,
¿Cómo
and
estaban? Did they
eh,
did they did they uh did they say hi to you? I
they
guess.
did. Everybody was cordial. Everybody's always cordial,
Cordial.
but they asked,
I gotta go back.
definitely they definitely said hi. They miss you, socio. Um, but they asked my opinion. They said, where do you think Messi's going? And I said, look, I'm not gonna be, I'm gonna be honest with you. Look, my coworker, my boy, he says he's going to Barcelona, and he knows people in certain places, and I gotta
The
trust him.
circles, yeah.
I gotta trust him. So that's what I'm
I
gonna say. That
appreciate
he's
that.
going
I
back for
appreciate
1
that.
year, and I said that. And they looked at me and they laughed at me. No, why would he go back to Barcelona? He has to come here. What does he have left to do over there? Nothing. He has to come here. And I said, look,
He wants that Kobe farewell.
and that's what I think. I think that there's going to be some sort of deal in here because I don't think Barcelona can just outright, pay him or something.
For
I
him,
think
yeah.
there's going to be some sort of Netflix, some sort of Apple, some sort of third party deal that comes into
Well,
this
the whole
where
Spotify.
they do a series, maybe like a Last Dance, like you've been saying, Nico, where they do a whole series about, hey, we're gonna follow Barcelona this whole year and Messi this whole year, and that is gonna be gold. And
Yeah,
maybe he does do it with
I wanna
Apple.
ask you guys something. Ask you guys something. In the last 2 months, Apple made a series about a team. What was that team?
Apple.
Yeah.
AFC Richmond.
No, no, no.
No, I'm just kidding.
Wrexham?
They made a series about.
But
It was a docu series about
they-
a famous Spanish team. So,
they
what was that team?
they made a couple. Didn't they make one on Real Madrid just recently?
There you go.
Yeah.
There's your answer.
Oh,
Yeah,
There's your answer.
but Netflix has also made one on City. I know that there's one on Arsenal. So there's plenty docuseries, and that's what I'm saying. I think one of these third parties is going to have to eventually come in because we know that Barcelona can't afford it. They have those sanctions, but something's gonna be done.
Yeah.
And so that's why I said, and so going on from the Messi talk, and for those of you that are listening on Spotify, this is football. We've got Socio on here. We got Nico on
that's
here.
right.
Danny
Shout out to you,
hosting. That's right. We got some folks on Spotify. We're also on Twitch.
I have my Columbia jersey on, long
That's
sleeve.
right. We also want to remind you to like and subscribe. Once we get to 250 subscribers on our YouTube channel, we are going to give out a free Inter Miami jersey signed by the Inter Miami player of your choosing. So we definitely want to get that going. We're gonna definitely continue to promote that. But I want to move from the Messi saga over to a little more, something that's gone on over the weekend. We've had FIFA International break. And I want to go around the table here. I want to ask each one of you, Socio, you represent six or seven different nations. So you can talk about one of the ones that you
Mr.
represent.
Worldwide, baby.
Nico, I want to, your ideas on,
You're
what you
Italian.
saw of Argentina, and possibly from Italy. And then, I also want you guys to choose or give me a team that's kind of maybe surprised you or that maybe disappointed you this FIFA, international break. So I want to start with you, Nico, because you can talk about Argentina first, which is going to be easy, and then you can go into the Italy talk.
6-0, by the way.
Argentina.
PK.
There's not really much to talk about Argentina. I guess these two friendlies that they played first against Panama and then against Curacao, they were more or less.
Spain. Scotland.
They were more or less a celebration to the World Cup. It was almost like a hangover type of situation when it comes to Argentina. They're still celebrating the World Cup, and honestly, it's starting to get me. It's starting to get me a little bit. I wouldn't say heated or upset, but I feel like okay, it's been 3 months. We celebrated enough. Now it's time to get to to the new process, to the new project, to the new tournaments that we're going to be playing against. We got to start preparing that. We celebrated enough. Let's get to it now. That as far as Argentina. What surprised me the most this weekend is like one of our guys have said is Spain, man.
McTominay.
Terrible. Oh my God, Spain looked awful today, and it makes me wonder if they made the actual right decision, of letting go of Luis Enrique and bringing this unexperienced manager that he's coming from the academies, Luis de la Fuente. I truly believe that Spain's in trouble. I believe that they need to get the right coach. If they don't get the right coach, they're gonna be wasting this generation. That they have great, great talent.
Yeah, they have guys like Gavi, Pedri, and some other young players like Ferran Torres that they're playing well on their club teams, but they can't seem to be getting it together over on the national team.
Yeah.
So what about you, Socio? Let's hear about Colombia, or who are we gonna hear about? Colombia, USA, Honduras, Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia lost to Bolivia today. That's just
but-
like that was a big surprise.
Yeah, I think it was yesterday, but yeah, pero qué golazo, man, qué golazo que hizo el boliviano.
Yeah.
So who are you gonna talk? I mean, he still can't figure out that he's on mute, but I got you, bro.
Ooh.
There you go, I got you. There you go.
Thank you.
So who you talking about?
Dude. No, USA, let's not even talk about that second game. Qué feo. Y encima hace el gol Pepe.
We don't need.
No,
It doesn't seem like we need Balogun, bro. Pepe on
Nah,
fire.
relax. On fire. Muerto el Pepe, bro. That kid is horrible.
That was a very good finish, though.
It was a great run. It was a great run and a beautiful finish. But relax, bro. Against real competition, he ain't going nowhere, dude. He's gonna run into a brick wall.
He's one of the top scorers in the Eredivisie, dude. Give the kid a break.
Yeah.
Dale, papá. But yeah, so we're saying Colombia. You look at that. Hey, my guy G is here. Hey, this Japan game, I only unfortunately got to see the second half. Gio Reyna dice el otro.
Man, Pepe Train. There you go.
My
That's
God,
a new. We should start calling him Pepe Train, dude.
No.
There you go.
Don't make that a thing, Stevie. Don't do that.
Let's make that a thing. Hashtag, Danny. Let's use that hashtag. Pepe Train.
I will.
Yo, G, Borré. Ooh, yo. Hey. No, I'm liking it. We still need to implement the rule, though. If you're before 2000 and forward, that's what we need to bring. Yeah, Soltame James and all these guys, bro. Enough. Same thing as Nico says. We need to step out and do a new journey. But they keep on insisting with these guys. But whatever. Outside of that, la chilena, gol de la semana, gol del mes. Beautiful. You caught that clean, bro.
Yeah. I have a question for you guys. Staying in the USA topic.
Okay.
Let's say the US with Anthony Hudson bring in Balogun. We lock that guy in.
Mm-hmm.
They win the Nations League.
Mm-hmm.
And they win the Gold Cup.
I think I saw that question posed today. Was it you that put it on Twitter?
Yeah. Do you guys feel like
Hudson out? Hashtag Hudson out all the way. Doesn't matter. I don't care who he brings. Hashtag Hudson out. I want a real coach.
What was the question again?
If he brings in Balogun, if he wins as a coach, he wins the Nations League, and he wins the Gold Cup.
Nah, but that's expected.
Do you keep the guy?
No, hell no. That's expected of us.
I don't know, man.
You need
to. I'll give the guy a chance.
Do you give him the Copa America as a chance?
I'll give him the Copa America as a chance. I'll let him take the Copa America because then afterwards
that's the only real competition we're gonna see before.
But then you have 2 years to prepare for the World Cup. You can bring if you don't do well in the Copa America, you can then bring the coach that.
Copa America is next year, correct?
Copa America is 2024.
2024. See, no, we need a coach by then. Bro. No, No. We need to start. Yeah.
The players seem to like him. The players seem to like him, and that's a big thing.
Of course. You're not gonna be there filming and being like, "Yo, hey, fuck this guy." No, man. You have to show, hey, you're getting a lot. No, he's a good guy. No, he's a person.
No. But they say Socio, they say he's a player's coach. So and he comes from the school of Berhalter, and like we said on last week's episode,
Por
with
eso.
Pulisic, with Pulisic's his interview, it did seem like he was inching that way. So maybe they do like the system, maybe they do like the coach. It looked like they responded with I know we didn't really play strong competition, but it looked like they responded,
Por eso.
and that was gonna be my surprise of the week. I was gonna talk about that choo train. I'm on the Pepe train, man. Let me tell you, man.
Pepe train.
We had our boy tactical manager on last week as well, and he was talking about how we need a 9 and this and that. But let me tell you, man, I'm on the Pepe train for the 9, and I mean he should have been, yeah, man. He's good, man.
He's got a lot to prove.
He does,
and I feel like he has. I feel like he has a chip. He has a chip on his shoulder. The fact that he didn't go to the last World Cup, it makes that that hunger within yourself to say, all right, I'm gonna prove these guys that I can be the next striker for the United States. And you gotta give him time. I think you gotta give him time. I think he has all the qualities to be a great 9. What time?
Yeah,
what time? He's played 5 games.
Yeah, they haven't given him the time that he needs to mature in his role as a 9 for the national team.
Yeah,
especially when they keep changing the wingers every game and stuff. So I mean, look, we had we talked to one of our good friends, Fafa, earlier in the week.
Shout out to you, Fafa.
Yeah, shout out to Fafa, and he said it. He said the way to win is consistency, and that's something that we have not seen in the Greg Berhalter era. We have not seen consistency. We've seen different formations. We've seen him calling different players, putting players out of position. I mean, you've seen all sorts of different crazy things. And I mean, Nico, you can agree with me. We've talked about it, and all the guests that we've had on have all said the same thing about the U.S. national team.
And it can work. Sometimes it can work. The American Devil. Sometimes it could actually work in the CONCACAF because the level that you're playing against might not be as great. And for example, I give you the example of USA when they won the Gold Cup with a B team. But when you translate that into the elite level, when you go to a World Cup, you need that consistency that you said. We need to have the right group of players, that starting 11 that you can say, okay, I'm going to war with these guys, and I know that these guys are going to perform.
Right, and you need to know who you have on the bench who can be. Hey, who's a striker I can go to? In the 80th minute, when I need a goal, or who's the super sub when I need some energy off the bench. I mean,
that's how
and we don't know that yet.
Second fiddle, man. I don't think he can be our leading 9.
Correct. Well, I don't know,
man, especially with the.
But we could say the same thing about Balogun, because what has Balogun done?
Well, he's leading the League One.
Not what he's done, what he's doing.
What, leading the League One?
What
is the League One?
Leading the League One.
How much of a difference is
a World Cup winning forward?
How much of a difference is League One to Eredivisie right now? You're gonna tell me that League One is a top league compared to Eredivisie?
Yes.
No,
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
I do.
I don't.
I don't. I think maybe there's 2 or 3, maybe 4 really good teams.
Maybe one step ahead, but
is Pepe leading Eredivisie then? If they're on the same level,
he's one of the top strikers in the league. Yeah,
is he leading?
No, he's not leading, but he's one of the top strikers.
Bueno, Balogun is by 1.
So,
bueno.
All right, let's get over the Pepe talk. Let's move into MLS recap. Let's move into MLS recap because we had a big week in the MLS. We had some
league.
I was out at the Inter game. I got to talk to some fans out there. Fans are not happy with the team. We got to see some fans, yell some pretty nasty things at the team.
Some nasty things.
We did hear some nasty things from the fans at the end of the game towards the team. But let's look at the MLS as a whole. And let's bring up, the Eastern and Western Conference standings. Because there's some surprises, man. St. Louis is 5-0, Nico and Socio. St. Louis is number 1 in the league.
Nico,
our boys over there. Our boys over there. All boys over there in the Roll City Ramblers, right? Rebel City Ramblers. They
they made change their name.
Yeah, bro.
Part
Yeah,
two.
we're gonna have to talk about that in a future show about who the soccer capital of the
Really
United
is.
States is because it's
We
just
stand.
saying just saying that you are doesn't mean that you are. Somebody has to
No,
appoint you. So if you're a Kansas City fan, I lived out there. You're not the soccer capital of the world. I'm sorry. Um, I'm
soccer
just
capital.
sorry. You're not.
That's a big statement. Soccer capital of the world,
As the
Seriously.
man.
the standings say.
Yeah. But so the standings are saying, I mean, St. Louis, Seattle, LAFC, basically the teams that we predicted. You got Nico's team, LAFC up there. You got my team, Seattle. Um, you know, I, Socio, I believe
It's early on. It's
you
early
you
on.
you you picked Austin
Pretty
as your
close.
favorite. The East
Yeah.
is where it's kind of crazy, man. The East, you got New England up top. Cincinnati's having a fantastic season. They beat Nashville this
Obviously.
weekend, which is which was
Armada's tearing it up.
one of the great, better games. Atlanta had a huge loss to Columbus, which is super unexpected. We're
They were
going to hear
missing A
about that.
players.
Well, we're going
They
to
were
hear
missing
about
A
that.
starters.
We're going to hear about that, and we're going to talk about that a little later because that's a big topic, and that's something that I actually asked Phil Neville about on Saturday after the loss. And I'm going to play some video on that. But Inter Miami is still in the hunt. I guess we could say we could still be, we can
As
still drink the
always.
Kool-Aid, right?
As
We can still drink
always,
the Kool-Aid.
baby. As always.
This
Yeah,
guy,
yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah.
In the
We
hunt
got
for what, dude?
look San Jose, baby. We have to, always say,
Shout out San
shout
Jose.
out to our boy Lucci, the coach over there at San Jose. They're definitely in the hunt. They're a little higher than us, but Inter Miami is there, at number 9, followed by Toronto.
You know what
Um,
surprises me? You know who surprises me?
who?
And this is a team where I felt like they could be a little higher, and they haven't started really well. Number one
Who?
in the MLS and number 2 in the CONCACAF Champions League. Austin FC. That team has surprised me, but in a negative
Man,
way.
letting me down. Yeah, same.
Yeah,
Expected a lot more.
a lot of our guys had them coming out of the West, and I believe Evet even had them winning the whole thing, or so. Yeah, I mean they've really been a disappointment the entire season. We got to bring somebody on from
playoffs. So.
we got to bring somebody on from Austin to see what's going on with them. What do you guys think about that? We can bring somebody on from from maybe one of their supporters groups, and we can see what's going on over there because I'm kind of interested to hear from them after their disappointing loss to Violette, and then obviously their disappointing start to the season here. So we're talking about the MLS here on This Is Football for those of you listening on Spotify, and thank you for those of you that are joining us on Twitch and on Twitter. Austin equals Miami. Hey man, we'll get into that.
All right.
I don't know if Austin is Inter
For
Miami.
longer,
Honestly, at least Austin brings what Danny likes. South American players that could actually perform in the league. I don't know if we have any of those.
That hurts his point though too.
Oh, we actually do because one of the guys that unfortunately should have gotten starter of the week this week for Inter Miami, who was left on the bench, Franco Negri. I mean, he had a goal and an assist. I don't know what else you have to do for the MLS to put you on the starting team. I mean,
win a game.
You got to win the game too.
That's it. You just have to win the game. If not, you go to the bench. That's how it is.
I mean,
unfortunately,
you have to dress nice too, or you have to go like in sweats.
Here we go. Don't bring that.
Unfortunately, nobody remembers second place. No one remembers second place. Everyone remembers winners.
Okay. All right. So,
what I was really surprised about is the power rankings, Danny.
I know. I was actually gonna bring that up because we looked. No, we looked at the table, but we haven't looked at the power rankings. So let's bring those up. St. Louis is number 1, but they're number 2 in the power rankings. I mean, what?
They need to be higher.
Yeah, what is that?
Philadelphia needs to be at 9. Orlando can be 7. Atlanta. New England 4, Seattle 6, Atlanta 5.
One thing's for sure, LAFC is the best team in the league.
Nah. Have you seen St. Louis play?
Absolutely, man.
They're playing nice.
Yeah, but St. Louis only has to focus on the MLS. LAFC is actually focusing on the MLS and also in the CONCACAF.
Not their fault. That's not their fault.
And they're performing well. They're performing well of all ends.
They are,
They
but
deserve, they
hey, but
deserve that number one spot, though.
St.
They
Louis
deserve
is
that.
5-0, man, and they
By
deserve
match
the
day
number one
5,
spot.
they deserve that number one spot. We're going by the first 5 games.
Yeah, they're 5-0, and they
No, I
deserve
feel
the
you,
number one spot.
Juancho. They are, but in the first 5 games, this is look according to match day 5. St. Louis is 5-0. That should be number one.
Yeah, I have a comment to make about LAFC, and this is something that it's.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I'm a West Coast guy, man. I got it right there.
I know. I know. You told
Tim
us. You told
Tillman.
us.
Tim Tillman. I don't know if you guys have seen him play.
Oh, we have.
He's making noise in the MLS. I don't know if you guys know, but he's coming from the second division in Bundesliga.
Yeah.
He wasn't even a starter. So
What
it's what are the odds, right? For a player that's coming from the second division to actually come to the MLS and immediately perform the way that he's performing.
Well, I mean, I think it goes to show you. Look who the sporting director is for St. Louis. And we talked about him when we had the folks from the Rebel City Ramblers on. It's Lutz, a German guy, and he came in and he instilled his German, I guess, mentality of putting together a roster. Not only that, they had 1 year of MLS Next Pro under them before they joined the league. So, I mean, I think they're really the template. I think, we're all looking at, we're really saying that they're the template of how you create an MLS franchise. I mean, they're 5-0. I mean, until they lose, we can't say otherwise, right?
Yeah. I to go to Juan's comment, my take on Tillman wasn't about saying that he's performing here better because it's a lower level league. I was just simply stating at the fact that the player adapted way better to what the MLS is rather than the other league.
It's a lower league. I'll say.
Okay. Then the second league, the second division of Bundesliga. You think the MLS is lower league than the second division in Bundesliga?
Desafortunadamente. They've been there longer. They've been there longer.
Ouch.
I mean, I do think that if LAFC would play in the second division of Bundesliga, I don't know if they would win it. I think they could compete, but I don't know if they would outright win it. Yeah. Whereas I think, again, if you take the champion of the second division of Bundesliga and put him in the MLS, I don't think they necessarily win it either. So I don't know.
Yeah, and honestly, and you could ask players. For example, the other day we had an interview yesterday with Fafa, and Fafa mentioned that to us. The league has gotten way better. The level of the MLS is a lot better, and he actually mentioned that a lot of players that he played with overseas in Germany wouldn't be able to play here.
Right.
So,
yeah. Well, we just, we actually talked to a good friend of the show, ex-Honduran international, Henry Thomas. And he even told us, from when he played in the MLS, back, I believe it was in 2015 or 2014, around there.
Even before that, when Henry was here.
Right. I mean, when he played in the MLS to now, I mean, they thought, he was coming from England. He's like, this league's going to be cake or whatever. When he got here, he's like, yo, these guys run. These guys play. This is physical. So
I'm not saying can never, it's a lot of running. That's what they misjudge.
Yeah.
It's
a physicality. You gotta take that. You gotta take that into consideration as well. It's not just.
Of course.
You might not have the most technical players here, but you do have players who are top notch in those aspects of the game.
Carro locos.
Correct. So I actually wanted to pull up a quote from Sporting Kansas City coach Peter Vermees, something that he said over the weekend that I thought was interesting. And
he said it today, I think. I believe he said it today.
He said it today. So I read it.
KC is second to last place in the league.
Right. So he threw that out there, and
for context.
So Peter Vermees says that the team took a step back versus Seattle, but he added that he doesn't see any upcoming game as a must-win. The only game that's a must-win is a final. What do you guys think about that? I mean, let me repeat that one more time.
The playoff.
Just a quote part. Let me repeat that one more time. The only game that is a must-win is a final. Now, the only thing I can tell you about that is MLS S. That's it.
It's in the game. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's where the I think that's
There's
where it
no
comes
added
from. No?
pressure. There's no added pressure.
No,
The fact that
exactly.
we don't have any promotion relegation in
You
the
can
league
stay.
doesn't
Yeah,
have the
you'll be
pressure.
back. You'll be
Coaches,
back next year.
he just signed a 5-year contract. He has nowhere to go. He's gonna be there
Chilling, man. Feet
chilling.
up
Exactly. But I
like a
think I find
paraplegic.
this very
Tranquilo.
disturbing, and I don't find this very disturbing for the team, for the organization. I find it disturbing as a coach to actually say that, and then have to look at your players, on the locker room and tell them, "Yo, it's okay. The next
We'll
game
get
is
up
the
next
next
time.
game. We'll get them next time.
Pat on the back.
Let's give you participation trophies like we
Yeah.
do, in our youth programs. When a team gets 15th place, and you give every single kid a medal.
Right.
Go to your other shift, Ali.
I find that very, very disturbing.
It's
Honestly,
never happened.
if I was
anymore.
if I was a KC fan, I'll be rioting right now.
Look, I think it's a bad look for the league, and mainly because when you look at all the other leagues around the world, every single game, every weekend counts for something. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
you look at the Prem, you look at La Liga.
Imagine if Arteta said that.
Even League One, even the every
I'll bring the
division really.
hashtag back.
Even the league in Colombia. I mean, to be honest with you, every weekend that game means something, and in the MLS, every game doesn't mean something. Like
No.
you could literally just chill for the first 5 months, and then just go on a hot streak the last 2 months,
Yeah,
sneak
make
into the
playoff.
playoff as ninth place, and then get hot and win the whole thing. And
Unfortunately,
that's not a true representation of being the best team in the league.
Unfortunately, that's the road that
format,
not only the league has taken, but also the region. Because if you look at Liga MX,
Mexico.
plays the same way. They have their regular schedule, their regular season schedule with 17 games, and you win 5, 6, 7 games. At the end, you make the playoffs, and who knows, you might get lucky and get hot and make a final.
Yeah, but I just don't agree with that.
Yeah, it's ugly. It's ugly.
I think it's got a lot to do with the culture too.
It could.
Yeah.
It could.
Give the underdog a chance, yada. Pero sí, it's
Absolutely. Well, let's get a little bit deeper into the MLS. Let's get into the local team. Inter Miami didn't have a great weekend. I was out there with.
They didn't have a great weekend. They lost
No,
to the last place team in the conference.
They did.
I just wanted to put that out there.
They're no longer in last place though, Nico. We threw up the table up there. We saw that the Fire were no longer in last place.
You shook it a little bit.
Yeah. So so we were out there. I want to comment on a few things that we saw out there. We were out with the fans. Most of the game we don't like to sit in the press box. We like to be with the fans. We like to be how I like to say el canal de la hinchada.
Feeling the heat.
Right, we like to be el canal de la hinchada.
La barra brava, you feel me?
The channel of the fans. That's what we want to be. So look for us out there when we're out there. But I will tell you, towards the end of the game, fans were not happy with that late goal from Jai Kamara. Fans were not happy.
I wanted to ask you, Danny, did you guys hear any Neville out chants or anything like that?
We didn't hear any Neville outs, but we did hear some, some hijos de putas. Yeah, and we did. And we did hear some váyanse a la whatever. And we heard some from some of the fans leaving and stuff. But yeah, I mean, we did talk to a couple of the fans that were upset about the last 3 games. But what can you do really? I mean, we need a 5. I think
one position we couldn't afford to lose.
Yeah, we lost. And look, Victor Ulloa did what he did for as long as he could. And
pero Cowboy Cerrone can only do so much.
Yeah, I mean, the young guy Diaz that came in, I thought he held his own well.
Nice.
Yeah,
but he's a kid, so you're expecting mistakes. So it's okay. Absolutely. I can live with that.
What I don't understand is, it's a 2-2 game. Right. It's a 2-2 game. Why are they not fouling the guy at the end? Like, They could have fouled it.
Matalo.
Right. Matalo ahí. Dale una patada.
Kill
Whatever.
him, bro.
Right. Like, how do they let him get that pass off to Kai Kamara? And then Drake, how do you let Kai Kamara beat you near post? I mean, I didn't get a chance to ask Drake. He was
I don't
upset when he came
I
out of the
don't
locker room. We did get a chance to get a little conversation in with Edison Ascona, who was outside of the locker room when Evan and I was out there. Evan was able to talk to him, and he was saying he was coming back from injury. He was happy to play with Inter Miami, with the MLS Next Pro team. He actually scored a goal in the game, even though they lost, which is fantastic. So we hope to see the kid up on
good news
on the first team. Yeah, man, because we really need that help in the middle. But how did you guys see the game?
Socio.
Deflated.
I heard it.
That's how he felt.
That was the balloon, bro. You sounded like a balloon.
Dude.
I feel like they went back
creativity. See, back to our old ways, sitting back,
old ways,
letting the pressure come. Like, oh no! And like Nico said, last place team at the crib. You're at the crib, dog. Gotta put some eggs. Nah, let's sit back and try to counter. With what?
Yeah. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. Missing players.
No, of course. But
Joseph. I saw it. During the game.
I'm not gonna lie. That was a little hard luck too. That last goal, bro. Fuck. Yeah. Deflating.
I wonder where Campana's coming back, because I feel like that's a player that Inter Miami really needs.
And then they need to say what the hell happened to him, bro. This guy.
He's rumored to come back, bro. Yeah, so he's rumored to come back this week. Also, we had a couple guys that had a knock in the game. Franco Negri had a knock. Sounds like he had kind of like a calf injury. There was a few guys that came out due to some calf. It looks like they were cramping and stuff. So, which is kind of weird, bro. These guys play one game a week, and you're cramping. I never understood that. Like, I don't understand how you can cramp and you're only playing one time a week. But I mean, I don't know. We used to play 2-3 times a week, and I wasn't cramping. Maybe we were playing at a lower level. I don't know, but I mean, I wasn't cramping. So,
Danny, you've been out there for a couple of times, and you're in the pot, of the rumors that are going around. Have they even said anything about the replacement for Gregory? Because I feel like that's a position that
we haven't heard about.
We really need. Like the team really suffers in games.
Yeah, so Phil was very adamant this weekend or on Saturday about that they want to bring up the young guys. So it looks like we're gonna get to see a little more bit of Ulloa, a lot more of Ruiz, which I am excited to see Ruiz.
Younger guys than you said Ulloa.
Well, we're gonna get to see a lot more of Ruiz, but Ulloa is obviously the natural substitute, and he didn't do a terrible job, like he said. But I really do hope we get to see more of Ruiz, because he did, he seemed to fit in there really nice as the 5. And me, I'm a big promoter of, I want to see the young guys, and this is a great opportunity for him.
But at the same time, it works both ways. You can't just put out the young guys to perform and expect something to happen. You need your experienced guys, the guys that have been not only in the club for the longest, that know the franchise, how it's run, the organization, but also you need those experienced guys to actually be able to, give that support to these players, give them the confidence. And we don't have any of those. I don't think Yellerin is one of those experienced guys, captain type that can come up on the locker room and pitch out and say, "Hey guys, this is what you guys need to do during the game. Take it to the next level because of this and that." I don't see those guys.
Well, Nico, I asked actually Phil that exact question, because one thing that the Chicago coach Ezra, he talked about was, that he was able to turn to Kai. He's got this veteran forward, Kai Kamara, that he can turn to in the last 15-20 minutes when he needs to find a goal. And I asked Phil, hey, how hard is it for you that you're coaching, you have a couple guys away on international duty, you look back at the bench and all you have is a bunch of young guys sitting there. You don't have a guy that you can go to when you need a goal, and we needed a goal or something like that. And I want to share what he said. I have his answer here. Let's share it.
All right.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, we had played a game when there was an international, so it doesn't make sense. Look at Atlanta's result tonight. I think they had five players missing. It just doesn't seem fair. But again, just got to accept it.
Yeah, so I mean, I think what Phil says, and that's kind of the point where I'm going to, and we mentioned it earlier. Atlanta lost 6-1 to Columbus. They had a bunch of players out. I mean, Phil Neville's saying it's ridiculous that the MLS is playing during international break. But when we're missing players,
But it's always happened. It's always happened.
It has.
This is not the first time that the MLS does that. So that's not an excuse. Like, I'm sorry, but look through during preseason, look through your schedule and know the fact that it's going to happen. So work your team out.
Agree.
Right.
A coach of this stature. Oh,
Exactly.
Great point out, Alvaro. Thank you. Great point out. But yeah, supposedly a coach of your stature, and that's a cheap excuse.
Very cheap.
excuse.
I don't know, man. But I mean, to me, it seems like it is a big deal. You're missing two of your big players, and Gregory's hurt. But yeah, we
he didn't prepare. Like, it shows lack of depth. He didn't prepare.
Yeah. This team has a complete lack of depth. You look into the bench and you see nobody that can be a game changer. Coming off it. Minutes 65, 70, when you need a change of pace or when you need a spark, you see absolutely no one. Who's on the bench?
We brought in Harry Neville, Benjamin Cremachi towards the end, and
that's not enough. That's not enough. In the MLS, we say it like this.
I like Cremachi though. I'm not gonna lie.
But he's not ready, man.
No, he's not. But I give that kid my support, bro. Atrevido. I like that. You need somebody, bro. Have a little bit of balls and take people. Face, be daring.
That's something that
he needs to work on the shots, pero.
Look, that's something that we noticed.
Some dynamics,
That's something that Evan and I noticed as we walked around the stadium and we watched the game, that Inter Miami doesn't have that one guy who can take somebody on one-on-one, para
get people off their feet.
Exactly. Que encare a alguien, que se anime, que whatever, to go into the box and maybe buscar un penal o algo. We don't have that yet.
They're not comfortable. The player, we might have that, but the style of play that the coach plays might not be beneficial to that type of player.
Exactly. Yes, very true. Very true. But again, it goes back to one of the hashtags that people threw out. I'm not saying I'm with it. Neville out. Yo, that system doesn't work. He's not work.
Look, I look.
I digress.
Look, I would.
How long do you hold them? If Inter Miami keeps losing, let's say they lose the next 3-4 games.
Well, do we have the schedule up there? I don't have.
Yeah.
My
so
phone.
yeah, I got you.
Cincinnati's this weekend.
Hey, another L.
Do you hold them until the Clásico? So they got Cincinnati.
They
play against Dallas, Houston, and Columbus.
Yeah, so I mean, if we can't get a win out of those 4 games, I think then you start talking about maybe questioning
You
Phil's,
think they even pressure him? I think he's safe, bro. They're gonna let him. I think he's safe. I mean,
he can be
no
safe
rush to replace Gregory. Imagine with this dude.
I get you, but I get that you're saying that he's safe, but I'm saying that the conversation should start happening. Whether or not he's safe or not, the conversation should start happening. Whether he should continue to
that'd
to
be
coach
the
this
obvious
team.
thing, but I don't think it will.
Right. No, and I agree, and I think
we're gonna write it out, blah 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 in the summer.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, going into next week, we some positives out of the game. We saw Stefanelli get a goal.
There's positives out of this game.
There was, bro. You saw Franco
Negri. I love this daddy.
Franco Negri. Right. Look, Franco Negri to me was the
friend of the show. Shout out to Negri.
He was the MVP of the of the game. He had a fantastic game on the left. Something that I'm curious. So one of the other media members asked the coach from Chicago, if they purposely practiced to center the ball to the back post, because they noticed that they did that a lot. And his answer was yes, because he noticed that against Toronto and against New York, we left the back post empty a lot because we let our right back or left back head up the field and we kind of leave that back post empty. And when one of our media members asked Phil, hey, Coach Ezra said, that they actually practiced for this. Phil's comment was bullshit. And I think he said that because I think he got caught. I think he somebody outcoached him. He got outcoached that game. They figured out what our weakness was. They attacked it and they got a couple goals out of it. So
the weakness this weekend, it's going to be in the middle of the park. And not only in the middle of the park, but also center backs. The center backs is going to have a lot of homework to do this weekend because that kid Brandon Vasquez, he can ball.
I'll tell you this: something that I have to go back on is Christoph, man. He's the Rock. No, bro, he's the Rock, bro. He saves everything back there. He saves everything.
Who are we talking about?
Christoph.
He's
the Ukrainian wall.
He's great, bro. He's been great.
I always believed in him.
I know you did. I know you did. I know you did. I remember you from the first day in the chat saying,
told you. That'll probably be my first jersey. I said, bring him.
Yeah, I know.
It's gonna be tough. This weekend's gonna be tough, man.
Well, if we get to 250 subscribers, maybe one of your sisters will win a jersey, and we can have Christoph sign it for you.
Honestly, I'm starting to double think about that. If we get to 250, do we really want to give the fans an Inter Miami jersey, or should we tell them that they can choose another team?
But then we can't get it signed. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So I mean, does anybody really want it? I mean, I would take a Campana jersey signed.
Marty.
I don't know, man.
10 subscribers.
I would like a St. Louis
I'm on
jersey.
my 12th email right now.
If it was me, that St. Louis jersey looks pretty dope.
I'm on my 12th email.
Oh man, the red eye gunner
restrictions.
The red eye gunner is in the comments. Oh my goodness.
The red eye gunner. Who's the red eye gunner?
Who's the red eye gunner?
The red eye gunner. You don't know who the red eye gunner is, man. You don't want to know who the red eye gunner is, and we'll talk about that off air because if we let the fans know about the red eye gunner, it could get ugly, bro. Could get ugly.
Man.
Let's be respectful. All
right, Inter Miami. Predictions for this weekend.
That's what I want.
I called it. Oof. Last weekend I said that we're gonna lose by one, and it happened.
Fair enough. Do we have everybody back?
We do not.
Barring Campana?
Well, Joseph is back, right?
Yeah, Joseph is back. Taylor is back, and
I need that guy to start making goals, man.
Campana's a maybe.
Yeah, we told you. Well, hey, let's not get into that.
That one's terrible.
I'm gonna be optimistic. A lot, yeah, John. We have 2-2.
2-2.
Wow,
2-2.
Optimistic.
Against the second place team.
I'm curious. I'm curious. Who scores?
2-2. We have to show. I say Joseph finally breaks it off. He's coming off a nice little trip, with the club, with the ladies. He's coming back inspired.
Danny, I'll take it since you're the hosting today.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give some Inter fans a heart attack. 4-1 Cincinnati.
Yeah, bro, we know you're a West Coast guy. Fantasma.
4-1 Cincinnati. Well, Cincinnati's not in the West Coast.
Cincinnati is in the Midwest, bro.
Ni Casper era tan fantasma.
That's a good meme, bro. I have that one.
It's a great gif.
So my prediction on Inter Miami this week,
they're gonna get the Vasquez train, not the Pepe train, the Vasquez train. Which, by the way,
hold up.
another striker for the national team.
Yeah. So look, man.
Yo, hold on. Quick shout out to Fefe, yo. He's soon becoming president of ADP. Shout out to you, my boy. Proud of you.
Schmidt.
Es un capo.
The CEO, CEO or CFO of the KGL league.
No, he's about to be FDP.
The chairman.
No. Oh, he's the chairman of KGL.
Chairman of KGL.
Oh, that's cool. Shout out KGL, bro.
KGL.
Shout out KGL.
Yeah, always. Shout out to the Fox, always. So my prediction for this weekend, I'm gonna go 3-0 Cincinnati.
All right, we're on the same page.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't think we're really good team away from home. We've seen that. We suffered, against a team who, was in last place.
Chicago had zero creativity. Zero.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
Imagine what Cincinnati's gonna do with
but
Luciano
they scored,
Acosta
but they
at
scored
the
3
helm.
goals. But they did score 3 goals the weekend before. So they scored 3 goals 2 weekends back to back. So maybe they're turning it around. I don't know, but I don't think it's gonna be good for us. Thankfully I'm gonna be in Guatemala this weekend, boys. So
Hey,
I'll be watching the game on my iPhone, and I'll be joining the press conference before I go to the wedding. So I definitely want to get in my word with Phil and whoever the player is. I think
You're
it's
gonna be
important
watching
for
from
us.
over there.
I will be watching there. Yeah, I never miss a game, bro. You guys know. No
it's
no
true.
matter how critical I can be, just like our friend tactical manager is. No matter how critical I am,
We love our
uh,
team.
I'm a fan, man. And if I didn't watch, if I watched this much Inter Miami and I'm not a fan, then like he said, I'm nuts, bro. Because why would I watch a
I mean,
team
you
that I
are
wasn't a fan of?
regardless,
So
but yeah,
I appreciate it, man.
you are regardless.
But on it, but on that note, I do want to get serious for 1 second before we close the show. We have one of our dear friends who is suffering. So we do want all of you out there to pray for our dear friend. I will keep his name private, for respect of the family. But those of you who watch the show, know who this person is, especially if you're close to us. So please keep this person in your prayers. We're definitely thinking about you.
Family,
Um,
everybody.
he's definitely part of the Kendall
Community.
soccer family and the This Is Football family, and we love you, brother, and we're praying for you. So we hope you pull through. And on that note, it's been a great week. Wonderful talking to you guys again. For
Ooh,
those of
wait.
you watching on or listening on Spotify, make sure you get on our YouTube and follow us, subscribe, hit the little bell,
Shout out to you guys.
hit the little bell, and once we get to 250, like we said, we'll have a giveaway, and this is all for you guys. This is all for you guys. So thank you again, and we'll see you guys later this week.
Ciao, ciao.